everyone, my name is Leon Inquest. So today we're going to be talking about electrical communication. So besides from normal form of communication where you're talking to people or where you're chatting, there's a form of communication that's very widely used, especially with like important business events, which is electrical communication, or in this situation, emails. Now, you probably have known email, right? Email's been in our world for almost forever. Yahoo, Google, we all have those types of emails, right? You probably have your own emails too, and you probably have once received an email from somebody. Maybe you haven't read it, but you probably have known it. And why is this so important? Because we use it almost every day in our business situations. Because see, in business, you do not text, you do not send private chats to your business partners or to your business like owners, equity owners, all those things like that. So that is when emails comes into the play, and that is where you actually take use of email. So this is an example email that you probably want to send. Now, email needs to have these two things. First is that it needs to be quick, it needs to be short, it needs to be efficient to read, and secondly, it needs to be sent to just as few as possible people. So just the people that actually need the email. So let's look through what an email has. First is the to part. The to part is the part where it shows who are you sending it directly to. So let's say I'm writing an email from a business partner. Let's say the company called A, right? So I'll send here. To is the email address of company A. So it is the receiver ends. Secondly is CC. What is CC? CC stands for cardboard copy, which means that people that receive cardboard copies are people that's not directly involved in this, but maybe that information could be useful for them. They maybe could take that for reference or whatsoever. So that is cardboard copy. Moving on, we have is a part called BCC, which is blind cardboard copy. So what is blind cardboard copy? It's almost exactly the same, but when you send a cardboard copy, they're going to be showing who's going to receive that to other receivers too, including the person that is receiving the email. But for a blind cardboard copy, no one will be able to see this. This is not really frequently used, but a lot of companies would use it when they send things to more than one business partners, or they want to send to a mass amount of consumers, to a mass amount of producers, etc. So it could be either to increase like the effectiveness of it while not really losing like the working ethic, and also it's going to secure our partner's private information, which is something very important, right? Moving on is the subject. The subject is the headline of what is the email about. And now comes the hello part. So you write hello and then the receiver. Down here is the body paragraph, which is the thing that is where you write all the things that you put in it. And maximum you only can put in 3 paragraphs or short pictures, short words. You do not write a whole essay because again, emails, they're supposed to be quick, simple, effective. And the subject itself is also quick, simple, effective so that the people can know what are they doing with here. If you send an email that's like essay long, people would lose the effectiveness. It would lose the directness of it. So email should be more direct and it should be formal. And moving on, we have is sincerely. Sincerely, and down here is your name. So this is the part where you write who you are. So that is how the email or electronic communication forms works like. Be sure that you put in the correct information, and remember, send it to only the people that actually need it, and always make sure that your email sounds compressed, direct, yet simple, effective, and formal. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.